Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства?
They want you to comply.
Cancel culture is about canceling.
Кокаином.
Up yours. Woke moralist.
This is systematic bullying that's happening.
Up yours.
And they believe that they can then
Woke
shut us
moralist.
up.
Not only can you take a load, you can take the ultimate load, and even better than that you find your true calling and destiny in your willingness to take the ultimate load.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals.
Up yours.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stopped
Woke
Ben
moralist.
Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stopped Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
Have it your way, buddy.
You sons of bitches.
I did everything right and they indicted me.
Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like?
We'll see who cancels who.
Hey everyone. How we doing?
Hello.
Positive vibes today.
Hello.
Lots of good vibes. Yeah, it's a different world compared to last week.
Why are you guys so happy?
I woke up and I was really sad. I had a full day of feeling
Things are
betrayed.
way better.
Are they?
Now I'm happy. Yeah.
Who betrayed you, Lance?
Mamala. She became she became Kapmala and then Kilmala, and now she's back. Now she's Mamala again. So
The honeymoon almost ended.
I know, but I'm in a better place. I'm whole again.
What made you bring it back?
Why Bender is so negative today? What's
I'm
wrong?
not negative. I'm just not especially positive. What? Yeah. I mean,
There's actual hope in the world.
Yeah.
we're fresh off of the Netanyahu speech, which was depressing as hell.
That was so depressing. Oh, we were so bad. It was all over. No, it was over. It was like yesterday.
I saw clips of that. I don't know how you guys sat through that. I'm not gonna fucking willingly watch that jackass. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I was rage quitting the
I know what he's
entire
gonna
time.
say. I don't need to see him.
I wore an extra large suit.
Mad.
I wore an extra large suit.
Fetterman?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's amazing. The guy fucking wore a suit for Netanyahu. Refuses to wear a suit
just for genocide.
Refuses to wear a suit for anything else, and then shows up in his best for the boss.
Genocide formal. I loved watching him every single time Kirsten Sinema and Manchin got up to clap. There was like this
they were all beside each
struggle.
other.
He was like, gotta get up again, but I have to because I love Netanyahu. Gotta lick those boots.
They sat the worst people together. Yeah.
It was very,
he
very disheartening.
He wants to be one of them. Like he wants to replace. I guess they're both going to be out, right? So he wants to. He wants to be the new version of that. He wants to have all the attention all the time by being the jackass.
Which
he's
doesn't
going
make
to
any
get
sense.
it. It worked on these freaks. Like Politico is going to be all over him. Oh, what did Fetterman say about this? It's like fuck off. Like he's doing this shit for the attention or because he has brain damage. Regardless,
it's got to be brain damage because you would think that more Democrats would be
There's only two
afraid.
options.
I mean, Manchin and Sinema, their careers are over.
Brain damage.
Yeah, I mean they're both out of Congress. You know, Sinema can't win. Manchin is retiring. I think that he probably would have preferred to run for president or something, but he burned every what remained of goodwill, which I don't know if there was any, but he burned it all to the ground. So yeah, the fact that John Fetterman is trying to be the next Manchinima tells me that's just a brain damage move. So yeah, and also I did think it was really awesome to see Netanyahu snub Schumer walking by. I mean, don't invite war criminals. Yeah, he just looked at him, didn't shake his hand like he shook everyone else's hand, just walked by.
He's only there because of Schumer. Wow, what this shows you how easily Netanyahu played these fucking idiots.
Yep.
Oh yeah, these guys are stupid as hell.
Oh my god, Schumer is such a moron.
Yeah, they get played every single time, and it was funny. There was one.
Nancy Pelosi didn't even go. Nancy Pelosi didn't go, and she put out
her statement.
Her statement was amazing.
I was like, wow,
I don't know what's happening.
Is this
right
actually her statement? This is amazing.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Hang
like
on,
a hack.
Are we standing Nancy Pelosi? Are we
I'm
yas?
not, for the record, I am not.
Over that statement,
I've
yes.
been
Actually,
standing.
let's bring it. Let me find it. We should bring this up.
Pelosi has been on a fucking roll lately.
I mean, she knows what she's doing. I mean, listen, plenty of things to criticize her about, but she's not Hakeem Jeffries. She's not Chuck Schumer. She's not Joe Biden. She plays the game to win, and she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, it even has a like. You can't hide that, David.
Oh no, I'm not gonna hide. I'm not gonna hide the like.
I like
it's the first. I think it's the first time I've ever actually liked a Nancy Pelosi tweet.
Yeah.
Not true. You definitely liked those tweets that were. It wasn't directly from her, but they were about her. The ones that were flying out in the last few weeks before Biden dropped out, where she was working the phones, making it happen.
Oh yeah.
Mm. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
There was that report. There was that report that came out like a day or two after he dropped out that basically said that the last thing like Biden heard from her was something like, we've been doing this. I've been doing this easy on you. I've been giving you time to do it the easy way. If something doesn't happen, we're going to
like the Mafia.
We're going to start doing it the hard way. Yeah.
Easy way, the hard way.
I mean, that's what she apparently said. According to let me take this up.
Love it.
Wait, what's the hard way? What do they do?
I will never know. We'll never.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, it supposedly they're going to start being more public, I guess. But I thought that was weird. But I should read the statement though for anyone that's just listening. So
here it is. Hold on. Here it is. This is from Politico. Nancy made it clear that they could do this the easy way or the hard way. A Democrat familiar with private conversations told Politico. She gave them 3 weeks of the easy way. It was about to be the hard way.
Damn.
What is the hard way? I'm so curious.
I think they were just speculating it'd be like more public facing, like they're really trying to like Nancy Pelosi before that was just like, oh, we'll wait for Biden to make his decision, and then remember who I forget who it was interviewing her, but he was like, he's said he's staying in the race, and she's like, well, we're gonna wait till he makes his decision. But it was gonna start being like he needs to get out now. Like it was gonna start being that. I should read this statement though. So after Netanyahu's speech, she posted this Twitter saying, Benjamin Netanyahu's presentation in the House chamber today was by far the worst presentation of any foreign dignitary invited and honored with the privilege of addressing the Congress of the United States. Many of us who love Israel spent time today listening to Israeli citizens whose families have suffered in the wake of the October 7th Hamas terror attack and kidnappings. These families are asking for a ceasefire deal that will bring the hostages home, and we hope the Prime Minister would spend his time achieving that goal.
5 of them got kicked out, by the way. They were either 5 family members or relatives of people who had hostages taken.
Weren't they like arrested?
Kicked out.
They were arrested. That's what I heard. Yeah.
They were 5.
And they've been protesting in Israel too, specifically the families of hostages, because he's not closing the deal. You know, Biden put this on the table and he's been not accepting it. So it's gross to see everybody applaud him, but I think that little statement from Pelosi was really nice to see.
Yeah.
We should talk about the vice presidential address though, because I think it is important to just talk about how I think, like, my personal opinion is that it's below the bare minimum, honestly, for what like a genocide calls for. But it's like it would be disingenuous of me to not admit that it is a decided change from Joe Biden. Like she is humanizing Palestinians in it. Yeah, we can play it.
Let me play it.
I have met with the families of these American hostages multiple times now, and I've told them each time they are not alone, and I stand with them. And President Biden and I are working every day to bring them home. I also expressed with the Prime Minister my serious concern about the scale of human suffering in Gaza, including the death of far too many innocent civilians. And I made clear my serious concern about the dire humanitarian situation there, with over 2 million people facing high levels of food insecurity, and 500,000 people facing catastrophic levels of acute food insecurity. What has happened in Gaza over the past 9 months is devastating. The images of dead children and desperate, hungry people fleeing for safety, sometimes displaced for the second, third, or fourth time. We cannot look away in the face of these tragedies. We cannot allow ourselves to become numb to the suffering, and I will not be silent.
Wait,
That
this was
line
today?
there,
I didn't see this.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that it just took place. Yeah, and that
Yeah.
line, "I will not be silent," is the one that's playing
Yeah.
everywhere right now. Right, like
Mhm.
there
This-
it is.
that-
Clearly, the writers knew what they were doing.
Yeah,
Yeah, much
she also
better.
said to the ceasefire, people who've been calling for a ceasefire, "I see you, I hear you," which is
Yeah, let's see if we can find that
exactly
part.
what needs to be said right now. Because for months they felt like they've just gone unnoticed or attacked. So for her to acknowledge them, again, like it's not the bare minimum
better
as
than
Len
Biden.
said, but it's much better than Biden. Yeah, yeah.
I'm in shock. I did not. This is a complete.
That's
change.
why I was. That's why.
Mhm.
That's why
I
we're in a
was
good
like,
mood.
Yeah, that's why I was
Yeah.
like copium. That's why I was like, we're back, baby.
I didn't
We did
know.
it. Yeah, we manifested.
I mean, this.
We started off with a bad statement from her this morning, but then the press
Yes, very
conference
bad.
much better. Much.
Oh, it was
much
so over.
better.
Oh, this morning it was over. Everything was done. It was over.
Yeah, I was
Hours
pissed
ago.
when I read that because I
Thank
felt
you.
like
Yeah.
she should have walked the fine line more. I expect you to condemn the people writing Hamas and whatnot. But I mean, you have to also acknowledge why the people are there protesting in the first place.
Just don't
And I
blanket
will close
statement
with this
all
then.
protesters.
Exactly.
It is important for the American people to remember the war in Gaza is not a binary issue. However, too often the conversation is binary when the reality is anything but. So I ask my fellow Americans to help encourage efforts to acknowledge the complexity, the nuance, and the history of the region. Let us all condemn terrorism and violence. Let us all do what we can to prevent the suffering of innocent civilians. And let us condemn anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and hate of any kind. And let us work to unite our country. I thank you.
I don't think it's
That wasn't
that
the clip you were looking
compli-
for.
No, I don't
And
think
that
it's
one wasn't as good
complex
as the
of an
previous
issue.
one.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, 'cause it's
Yeah,
not-
that was
yeah,
the
it's
closing.
not-
That was the very end of it. Yeah.
That's
And the very
I mean, I
and to
guess
be
you
fair,
gotta bring
part
it
of
back
is
around
also
to make-
very at the start, Binder, it was like business as usual. She was doing the whole like, the Israel, we are strong allies with Israel. It has a right to defend itself, blah,
Right.
blah, blah. And then in the middle, she moved into humanizing Palestinians. For the first time, I think I've seen like a vice president speak that way about them, or mass starvation.
I mean,
using the term
the first
dead
time this
children.
administration has done it.
Yeah.
It's the first
Yeah.
time this administration
True.
has done it.
Yeah,
Even
that's
even
true.
the
No
State
question.
Department, even the State Department in those little side press conferences, they get no press,
day
they
today.
get no attention. They get no attention outside of like social media, where they could
Mhm.
easily say something to just acknowledge Palestinians being human beings, but they just refuse to do it. Even those,
Yeah.
we don't get that. I'm truly surprised. You could tell me whatever came before it, whatever came after it, sucks, and that's fine. And I agree with you, but that moment right there is I think
I
pretty
agree.
big. Yeah.
This is the middle of the speech, so we're watched out of order, but this is where the other part came from.
It's like a Christopher Nolan film.
Thanks to the leadership of our President Joe Biden, there is a deal on the table for a ceasefire and a hostage deal. And it is important that we recall what the deal involves. The first phase of the deal would bring about a full ceasefire, including a withdrawal of the Israeli military from population centers in Gaza. In the second phase, the Israeli military would withdraw from Gaza entirely, and it would lead to a permanent end to the hostilities. It is time for this war to end, and end in a way where Israel is secure, all the hostages are released, the suffering of Palestinians in Gaza ends, and the Palestinian people can exercise their right to freedom, dignity, and self-determination. There has been hopeful movement in the talks to secure an agreement on this deal. And as I just told Prime Minister Netanyahu, it is time to get this deal done. So to everyone who has been calling for a ceasefire, and to everyone who yearns for peace. I see you and I hear you. Let's get the deal done so we can get a ceasefire to end the war. Let's bring the hostages home, and let's provide much needed relief to the Palestinian people. And ultimately, I remain committed.
She even said Palestinians.
That can lead.
I know. Well, she said
say
Palestinian
Palestinians.
people. Hasn't said Palestine, but Palestinian people for sure.
Well, we could take one step at a time. This is huge. I think this is.
I think that
it is
in terms of what we can
course
expect
correction.
from her. This is
Honestly-
probably the best we're gonna get, right? Like this.
Honestly, after like
It's
9
better than
months
Biden
of
for
being-
sure.
After like
that
9
shows you
months
how
being
low the bar
absolutely-
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's not spreading propaganda. She's not like I saw 40 beheaded babies today or anything
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
So it's a win.
It's definitely a low bar for sure.
I know right now it is hard to conceive of that prospect, but a two-state solution is the only path that ensures Israel remains a secure, Jewish, and democratic state, and one that ensures Palestinians can finally realize the freedom, security, and prosperity that they rightly deserve.
I mean, she's not going to argue for a one state, obviously, even though
She
that's
said
the correct
Palestinians there
position.
too. She didn't say Palestinian people.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we're still waiting for Palestine, but I mean, if you're saying Palestinian, I'm assuming you realize that there's got to be a Palestine for them to be Palestinians.
I just think after the bar was set so low by her earlier this morning when she released that statement condemning a flag that was burned,
Right.
Get the fuck out, and didn't mention anything at all in that statement about why all the protesters, the vast majority of them, were there.
It was really bad.
That was
I
a terrible statement.
I saw Emma point this out, and I don't know how much to look into. This could be splitting hairs here, but it is worth mentioning. She said that someone pointed out to her that statement was specifically released from her VP account and not her campaign account. And maybe that's like the Biden administration's statement through the VP and not really. I mean, this,
Okay. And why doesn't
take it for
Biden
what you
release
will.
it? Has she been releasing statements about this stuff before now? Like, it seems like an odd time for this to be her first
your
statement.
own campaign. Yeah.
No, I agree
will
with
say there's other really good indications that that makes me cautiously optimistic. First and foremost, she has Phil Gordon as her national security advisor, leagues ahead of anyone else. Also, she would clean house. She would fire Lloyd Austin. She would fire Anthony.
Is that true?
Blinken,
I saw that, but I
Sullivan.
was like, are we not wish casting? That feels like I like that for me. That's fan fiction to my dreams. I'm like, oh my god, are you serious? This
is what it's not confirmed, of course. This is what I believe aides are telling reporters anonymously. So this is the way that I interpret this is they're trying to leak to the press some crumbs for us to pick up on because she doesn't want to say what she needs to say, but she wants us to know where she stands. I think one thing that I said in my video talking about this is we're going to get the biggest indication, I think, or one of the biggest indications when she picks her VP. Because if she picks somebody like Josh Shapiro, who's very anti-BDS, called the protesters on college campuses KKK members or compared them to that, if she picks somebody like him, that would really inflame the Arab American community because of what he said. That would be a bad sign. If she picks somebody like J.B. Pritzker or Tim Walz or Andy Bashir, that would be a good sign.
Tim Walz is my guy.
I'm sold on Tim Walz.
I saw your video.
I was a Bashir bro, but now I'm sold on Tim Walz, especially because guess what he said?
Walz.
He had a very great statement about the college protests, and he was talking about how, listen, the Biden administration needs to hear them. They're asking to be heard, and he should listen.
Yeah,
so,
I forgot he was the one that said that. That was wild. That was during the primary. I think he said that. So like, this wasn't even while he was trying to angle for a VP position. This was like back when he was just being who he is as a politician.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great statement to see. Again, it's not, he's not an activist. He's not going to be everything we want someone like that to be. But it's in terms of the comparisons to like a Josh Shapiro or Mark Kelly, who's at the speech.
He was applauding for genocide, and he's the front runner right now, reportedly. So
I thought he would have been a great choice until I sat with it and read more about him, and it's like, all right, this guy's actually pretty conservative. He
Yeah,
voted
he's against the
PRO
PRO Act up until yesterday.
He supports it now, though. He says,
yeah, oh yeah, bullying works
very,
apparently.
very believable and genuine. Thank you, sir.
Did you hear that Andy Bashir, apparently one of his old jobs, because this is him versus Vance, right? Apparently he used to be a couch salesman back in the day.
No way.
No, I made that up.
Oh, fuck you. Don't make things up on the internet, Lance.
And he sold a couch.
That's my revenge for your hillbilly elegy page where I was like, what the fuck? No.
So let's save the couch conversation, because I have a whole segment that I was going to do, and like
so wait, you're saying let's couch it?
Yeah. let's couch that conversation.
More. More.
Let's wait till Rebecca gets here, at least. But
Rebecca. Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of like the
we're
VP
gonna have
discussion,
to explain the whole thing to Rebecca from the beginning, aren't we?
No. My segment.
Oh, but that'll be great. It'll be
my
fun.
segment helps explain. I have it all laid out.
No, it is. It's great.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
I mean, it's not complicated.
It's not really complicated at all.
Yeah.
Since we're on the talking about Harris here, we should mention as well. Apparently, there's pressure being put on Kamala Harris to replace Lena Khan by a billionaire
that'd
donor.
be a horrible move.
Yeah, it would be terrible.
One of the best things that Biden has done is the FCC.
Right.
Seriously, his FCC is fantastic. Absolutely, that needs to be pushed back against immediately.
Here we can watch this clip. Billionaire LinkedIn founder Reid Hoffman gave $7 million to the Harris campaign. Then he went on TV demanding she fire FTC chair Lena Khan.
Whoa, demanding.
I would send that money right back.
Trump wants tariffs, which is anti-business. Makes this a very strange election indeed, because I think actually Vice President Harris is much more of the pro-business candidate than Trump and Vance.
Oh my God.
But Vice President Harris, she wants to raise the corporate tax rate. The Harris-Biden administration or Biden-Harris administration has in fact imposed tariffs. So aren't there some anti-business concerns there as well?
I think what's most important for business is stability of a country, unity, rule of law. And, a percent difference in corporate tax or 2% or 3% difference in corporate tax is far, far less important.
Now, the Trump campaign, of course, has argued otherwise, saying that former President Trump is the one that's going to put more money in the pockets of American families and blaming the Biden-Harris administration for the high cost of living. Now, even Reid Hoffman conceded that he's not thrilled with all parts of the Biden administration. In particular, he strongly criticized Lena Khan, the FTC chair. He said that Lena Khan is, quote, waging war on American business. And he went so far as to say that he hopes that a President Harris would replace Lena Khan at the FTC. Now, the agency pushed back, telling CNN in a statement that Chair Khan is honored to work in this administration, where she has worked to protect consumers, workers, and entrepreneurs from corporate abuses. And it's worth remembering that Lena Khan, she's won some fans on the left for her efforts to fight monopolies, to try to push back against the big oil and big tech. And interestingly enough, she even has a fan on the Republican ticket. J.D. Vance has said that Lena Khan is one of the only Biden officials who's doing a good job right now. So just for everyone scoring at home, you have a situation where a Democratic mega donor is slamming a Biden.
There is zero chance that they would keep her. Why would J.D. Vance want to keep Lena Khan? Apparently, I'm trying to find it, but there was a quote that I think David Dane got it from Elizabeth Warren, basically defending Lena Khan. Hopefully there'd be enough pressure on.
We better.
Well,
that would be
to do
that'd be devastating to lose. I mean, the FCC's been really good under Biden. Like, it's been night and day.
I can barely see this, but
statement from Warren.
The FCC too, also really good under Biden. We got net neutrality back in all 50 states.
That's what I said. The FCC. That's what I said. The FCC.
Well,
Chair
both
Khan has an
FTC
excellent
and
job
FCC.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Chair Khan has done an excellent job as part of the Biden-Harris administration's broader competition agenda, and should, of course, continue her work lowering costs, protecting workers, and supporting entrepreneurs. It's a big reason the economy is growing as strong as we saw with today's GDP data. Yeah, so he's going to have, or she's going to have big defenders within, the Democratic Party. So hopefully, one stupid ass donor isn't going to be the thing that blows it all up.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember when I said that we really needed to do the reverse? We're so used to seeing these horrible candidates pretend they're progressive and then get elected and turn their back on the left. Wouldn't it be nice if there was someone, maybe it'll be Kamala. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be, but this is me, maybe this is what we'll see. Where it's just like, Reid Hoffman, keep pouring in those millions. I promise you, the most pro-business agency ever under me. You'll get exactly what you want. She wins the election. Reid Hoffman comes calling, and she goes, "Sucker."
Which she should be, because she's like, fuck, I raised 100 million over what, like 24 hours, 48 hours?
Yeah,
launching my
US
campaign
history.
with mostly small dollar donors. I don't fucking need your 7 million. Fuck
60%
off.
were first-time donors. 60%.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a huge indication that people are fired up.
I hope Dems are learning their
scared.
lesson. I hope Dems are learning their lesson with how close they were to the tech, the big tech, Silicon Valley, all the VCs during the Obama years, and how so many of these guys turned around and stabbed them in the back the second they didn't get exactly what they want and became some of the most far right-wing extremists there are out there right now. You don't need these guys. You don't need these guys.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Did you see that statement from one of the Winklevoss twins where he's like, Kamala skipped the Bitcoin conference or something like that, or this crypto conference. We will not forget this, or something. Like, I don't remember the exact statement, but he was just seething, and it was so funny. Like, why would you expect her to go to that? It's so weird that you would even think that a presidential candidate would show up, except for JD Vance.
Embarrassing. We should let's have the VP discussion, because Tim Walz, as I said, is my guy. I did a video on him a couple days ago. I want to bring up some clips from this brilliant man. He's also, as far as I've seen, the only guy that Trump has already flipped out over.
Oh, really?
Right.
I didn't know that.
On Truth Social, Tim Walz was on Fox News. The appearance isn't as good as other appearances. I'm not going to bring it up, but he was on Fox News and he criticized Trump like briefly. And Trump was like, "Why is this guy?" Actually, I'll bring up Trump's Truth Social, or his truth.
Truth it.
Why did Fox News put up Tim Walz, a governor of Minnesota, where I am leading? They make me fight battles I shouldn't have to fight. So,
first of all, Trump's not leading in Minnesota. Minnesota's like the one Rust Belt state where like he's never led.
Bizarre statement.
It's not Wisconsin. It's not Michigan. What is he talking about?
Yeah, but so actually, before I get to a clip, these are Tim Walz's accomplishments as governor. This is with a 1-seat majority. Kyle Kalinske shared this. So, universal free school meals, legal weed, carbon-free electricity by 2040, tax rebates for the working class up to $1,300, 12 weeks paid family leave, 12 weeks paid sick leave, banned conversion therapy, red flag laws for guns, universal background checks for guns, automatic voter registration, free public college under 80K, ban on forever chemicals, $2.2 billion increase in K-12 school funding, sectoral bargaining for nursing home workers. And he's a former high school teacher. And I believe he's also a vet as well. This is a guy and he's fantastic on camera. He comes off as somebody who is like a genuine person.
Right.
Unlike,
pull up a picture of him for a second.
Yeah.
Pull up a picture of him for a second.
Yeah, I'm finding
that's my only concern is I kind of feel that just like visually it gives off like Tim Kaine energy, which is my only worry.
No, this guy does not.
Oh, no, not at all. I don't get Tim Kaine energy off this guy.
No.
Until he talks, then it's like, oh, okay, I like him.
Yeah, when he talks, yeah, I agree with you.
Because he's the same age as Kamala, believe it or not.
Yeah,
I know. When I found that out, I was like, oh my God, she looks sensational.
Say, how old do you guys think this guy is?
Yeah.
I would know. When I found that out, it blew my mind. I was
he's
like,
balls on our Oppo research, we know.
Together the rural and the urban voters in your state that you think the Harris campaign can use to really engage some parts of America that have really turned quite red, particularly the rural parts of the country. What should they take from the Minnesota story?
Yeah, the Midwest is the key. And look, I represented Joe was talking about Steve King. My district bordered Steve King's, and on the other side was Michelle Bachmann. What I know is that people like J.D. Vance know nothing about small town America. My town had 400 people in it, 24 kids in my graduating class, 12 were cousins, and he gets it all wrong. It's not about hate. It's not about collapsing in. The golden rule there is mind your own damn business. Their policies are what destroyed rural America. They've divided us. They're in our exam rooms. They're telling us what books to read. And I think what Kamala Harris knows is bringing people together around the shared values, strong public schools, strong labor unions that create the middle class, healthcare that's affordable and accessible. Those are the things. You look what they're talking about. They went right to division. They did not give us a plan on health care. Donald Trump talked about infrastructure. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris built bridges, built roads. So I think this is going back to the bread and butter, getting away from this division. We do not like what has happened where we can't even go to Thanksgiving dinner with our uncle because you end up in some weird fight that is unnecessary. and I think bringing back people together, well, it's true. These guys are just weird. And it's, you know, they're running for He-Man Women Haters Club or something. That's what they go at. That's not what people are interested in. And there is angst because robber barons like J.D. Vance and Donald Trump gutted the Midwest, told us we didn't do that. They talk about private schools. Where in the heck are you going to find a private school in a town of 400? Those are public schools. Those are great teachers that are out there making a difference and gave us an opportunity to succeed. That angst that J.D. Vance talks about in Hillbilly Elegy, none of my hillbilly cousins went to Yale, and none of them went on to be venture capitalists or whatever. It's not who people really are. So I think that message doesn't resonate. You saw it yesterday. The energy out here exploded. We all broke fundraising records, but that's not what I look at. Door knocks are full. Phone banks are full. People are talking about what's possible. We are finally on offense about an America where we're all together. So good. Have Orban down to Florida. The vice president will come out here and stand in a Planned Parenthood. She stands in a Planned Parenthood clinic in St. Paul. That's what people want to see.
All the liberals are. All the liberals
He's
are
so
right
good.
now.
He's
great. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's great. He's good. He's good.
If anyone compares him to Tim Kaine, just listen to them talk. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Tim Kaine,
no. Watch a
Tim
video.
Kaine
Tim Kaine.
wishes. Yeah, Tim Kaine wishes he had the charisma and the tough guy. Like this guy,
Photos don't mean
got
shit. You hear someone talk. The reason why Tim Kaine never rose above the photo op is because he sounds like the guy he looks like in the photo. This guy, you
I
hear
know he's
a
a
sentence,
punt.
and you forget. You know, it melts away whatever photo op it may look like.
This guy sounds like a scrappy, like Midwestern, like a working class dude. Like you know, this is
like retired high school teacher. This guy, like he's a real person.
He's a real.
It'd be nice if we got a VP pick who we don't have to eventually fight, because whoever she chooses, they're going to be probably the next person that's the front runner in whatever Democratic Party primary, 2028, 2032. And I would like to not have to fight them. Like if she picks Mark Kelly, we have to fight that motherfucker. For Tim Walz, he's kind of like, he's just good. There's things that we'll probably take issue with, but for the most part, he's a great person that could lead the Democratic Party in a different direction. In
terms of the options available, like this is the guy you want in her ear. Like you don't want someone like Mark Kelly who's going to pull her right.
Someone in the chat said he's too white, and then I saw people saying this to me when I tweeted about this guy. Oh, he's too old looking, too white. It's like, do you guys have any idea who they're looking for to be Kamala's VP? Literally, they want someone to be the absolute opposite looking of her. Like that's what they want. An old white guy.
Yes.
They're going to pick an
They
old
want a white
guy.
DEI candidate.
Yes. They're trying to maintain Biden's popularity with older voters. You're not going to do that by picking someone that looks really young. That's why I think Andy Bashir is probably not going to be the pick. I think Josh Shapiro, unless they double down on youth, maybe, but I don't think that's going to be the choice.
I think Bashir's a bad pick. They need to start thinking like ahead too. Like they sort of like blew it with going to the Obama well way too early. Like we could have had a few a Democratic president or two before Obama, and Obama still would have been cool and young. Like they went with Obama way too early and then had no bench. Go with a guy who can follow up after Kamala, like Walz could, and he would be great too on the ticket. And then we could go Bashir later. The guy's young; he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great point.
So we have decided we will tell Kamala later our decision, and she will pick Walz, and we will see by the convention.
And this is the leftist mafia, if she doesn't pick, if she doesn't go with what we suggest, there might be some problems to be had,
Might be someone with the fishes. No, I honestly think that it is important for everybody to shitpost their way into the VP pick that they want, because her team listens. I'm not saying to watch Leftist Mafia, obviously, but I'm saying that her team is very in tuned, obviously, to what people are saying, and she knows that she has this window of opportunity to really keep the momentum going, and they know what everybody's saying. They see, people trying to get her to choose Bashir and Waltz. So, now that you have some time, make your voice heard, because unlike the Biden administration, they're much more plugged in, I think. It's very obvious that, they care about what we think because they want to win. That's right. What you want. You want somebody who's hungry, and they very clearly are hungry. Kamala wants to win, and the people around her are so much more savvy than Biden's people. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Biden's people.
At the end of the day, I think as long as it's not Shapiro and Mark Kelly. Yeah, those are definitely the two worst. I would say Shapiro edges.
You're the front runners, aren't they? So...
No, I don't think so. I don't think they are.
I feel like
I've seen
my thoughts on this is as long as it's not Joe Manchin or John Fetterman, obviously Shapiro and
Shapiro's bad like that though.
I know, but
Shapiro was cheering the crackdowns on and called the students
No, I'm not saying he's
also
good. I'm just
schools.
saying the argument against Trump advance is still, I think it's still a lopsided choice here, regardless of who's even.
No, I'm not. But Shapiro would be bad. I mean, Mark Kelly's already flipping on things, so he's not as bad as Shapiro. Mark Kelly,
he's already given it. He's like, please.
For me, I've seen Pete Buttigieg picked. I think that'd be a bad pick. I don't like Pete Buttigieg.
Oh, that would be a horrible pick.
But I don't
be
like.
A straight man.
I don't dislike him worse. I don't dislike him more than Shapiro or Kelly, for example. But also, I feel like Pete Buttigieg, I feel like he might be toxic, like how Hillary was. I feel
he's too much of a smug liberal. That's not what people want right now.
Yeah,
the right has sort of successfully, to me, the right has sort of successfully smeared him in the way they smeared Hillary, where I think a good amount of people are just turned off by him for being him. You could say it sucks, just like it sucks for Hillary. But listen, I'm not here to care about some individual. We got to win for the greater good of the people.
Right.
He's someone that I think liberals like because he's a good attack dog, but he's an attack dog in the way that doesn't appeal to people that he needs to appeal to actually, flip votes. Yeah. He's not like
he appeals to Jimmy Fallon,
who actually has a broad appeal. Which actually, I have a new clip here. I've not seen this, but let's see.
Oh,
how are you going to build a water treatment plant in a town of 400 if you don't have a collective effort at it? So I have to tell you, they scream socialism. We just build roads and we build schools and we build prosperity into this. Their whole plan is to go backwards, to give tax cuts to the wealthy. And look, it was so surprising. These super successful Donald Trump, who inherited $400 million and then proceeded to fail at everything. Middle America, you earn it, but you know what? You're not on your own. Neighbors
Video's
help
frozen.
neighbors, and I will. This one bothers me. I heard you talking about punching back at the bullies. They see people less fortunate as scapegoats and punchlines for their jokes. We see them as neighbors. And I said it with my mom. My dad dies when my little brother's young. We're teenagers. We get Social Security survivor benefits. I'm all for pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. We didn't have any boots. Social Security was the boots, and we pulled ourselves up, and we paid that back. And I think J.D. Vance gets none of that. It's the aw shucks, I'm from here or whatever. So my hillbilly cousins did not go to Yale, but I'll tell you what they did. They contributed to our community, and they're proud of it.
Look,
that was
Amazing.
Really good. Oh,
this guy's really
man. Good. What would they do with that shit? Oh my God! Kamala, you got to pick this guy.
Please.
You got to pick this guy.
This is the dude.
Welcome, Rebecca.
Hi guys.
Hey, Rebecca.
Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys? Who's this guy?
Tim
Walz. He's the governor of Minnesota, potential VP pick.
It's our VP favorite.
Well, I haven't signed on yet.
What?
Lance, who's your
you
pick?
haven't signed on to this?
I'm still for the brainworm. RFK's brainworm. I told you that already.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I'm a single issue voter, and it's brainworm. Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
What's RFK even doing right now? He's been he disappeared off the face of the planet. What's going on with him? There was that video that was leaked of him. there was that video of where like his like cousin
agreed
or
with
son-in-law or something like that took the video of him on the private
It was
call
his
with
son, I
Trump.
think, did it.
Yeah,
It was
and
his
they were
son?
like, yeah,
Yeah.
like what happened to this guy? Like,
Apparently his son was angry that RFK didn't get the VP choice from Trump or something. Like that's what I was reading. So that he leaked the video. Like that was the whole reason why he leaked the video. I don't know, something like that.
I mean, that might have been the only
His
choice
son sounds
worse than
crazy, I guess.
Vance.
Yeah. Oh my God, of course. Yeah. That probably is the only choice worse than Vance.
I mean, Vance is looking like a really bad choice now. Like they got to
Did
be
you see the new
regretting
number
that
that
shit.
just came out? He's got like the least polling popular opinion. It used to be since the 1980s, but now it's slipped to like the 1960s or something like that. He's -5.
Oh, it slipped more.
right now.
I wouldn't be shocked
That's
if he was
more.
replaced. That's like, you know,
Oh, he will
true
be. I
Trump
think so.
tactic.
Yeah,
So I wouldn't be shocked.
I think Trump's
if
going to
he
make him
was
step down. I'm waiting for it.
Can they replace him? Can they replace him?
No, but he can step down. You can always step down. He can make
Right.
it
like some weird,
Yeah,
something where he's like, you're not good for this. Like you're not.
What if he just
So-
refuses? He's like, fuck no, I'm not stepping down.
Mm-hmm.
If he steps, like that's the end of his political career. If he has to step down from Trump's ticket, like he's not gonna fucking ruin himself. Like
After you done started and said like how you were so anti-Trump and this and that, now you're on the ticket, and then now like you get kicked out. Well, I don't know, but I can see that as something happening.
Who would he go with then though? Like after Vance, like to me,
Burgum.
like
Burgum seems like
I
you
thought-
want like a serious guy.
Yeah, I thought he was a joke pick. Like before all this, I was like, it's not gonna. But now that Biden has stepped down and Kamala has stepped up, and Trump looks like the old insane guy to the vast
He sounds
majority
like
of
him,
people,
too.
even though. Yeah, I mean, he always was that to us, but the greater American public, who sometimes needs a little help,
He's getting worse.
across the street.
By the way, have you
know-
seen the Hannibal Lecter clip? Like, what's up with that shit?
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't
That clip
understand that.
He calls it Silence of
I'm
the
gonna
Lamb.
bring that up because I
It's
don't
so
understand what
funny.
the hell's going on. Like,
Well, he
this
also-
cracked me up.
He also seems to think that Hannibal Lecter is a historical, real person.
Yeah, a real person.
Yeah, I don't. Here, let's.
This is
Late
so
great
bizarre.
Hannibal
Jails,
Lecter.
mental institutions and prisons and jails, mental institutions and insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal Lecter. Okay, they say, why would he mention Hannibal Lecter? He must be cognitively in trouble. No, these are real stories. Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lamb. He's a lovely man. He wants to have you for dinner. He'd like to have you for dinner.
You know, when he says stuff like that, there is something.
Oh my god.
He's still got the sauce. Come on.
He still has it. He still
Yeah.
has it.
Does he say the late great Hannibal Lecter?
I
Yes,
think
he's
so.
Yes,
the
he
late
did.
great Hannibal
Late
Lecter.
great Hannibal
All
Lecter.
right, listen.
From
We all,
But that's
we
a
all-
character. He's not
Silence of the
real.
Lamb.
But no,
Silence of
exactly
the
that.
Lamb.
We all know he's not Hannibal, or apparently except for Trump. We all know Hannibal Lecter isn't real. But also, in the canon of the Silence of the Lambs universe and all those movies, Hannibal Lecter is still canonically, whatever the word is, he's still alive.
Canonically.
Like he didn't die in the die in the movies. Hannibal Lecter
never
still
finished-
Well,
alive.
maybe
I
he
haven't
figures
finished the
enough
show.
time
I
has
always saw the first
enough
season.
time has passed where he probably passed away from old age. He's gone.
Right. The late great.
The late great Hannibal Lecter.
Why is it like? What
These
is
are real
the context?
stories, folks.
Why is he even bringing up Hannibal Lecter? Like what?
And then be like,
he brought it up
"He'd
in like
eat you,
another
he'd eat
speech.
you."
He's been bringing up Hannibal Lecter alive. Like
Yeah,
that's
he
his-
brought it up
that's-
before. And I
that's his
didn't understand
concept.
what the context was for
Like
that.
what is he
And
talking
then he's
about?
doing it again. I don't even know what. It's just. He's
I
lost
hate
his
that he's
goddamn
funny.
mind.
I hate
He's
it
too
so much.
clearly he's too old to run. He needs to get out of the race. He's too
He's
old.
in
to run.
No, he
cognitive
does.
decline.
He's definitely in cognitive decline. He needs to bow out without
He
question.
needs to get
It's very
Now
serious.
he's the oldest,
He's
you
too
know.
old.
Yep. Now
oldest candidate.
all of the things
Yeah.
that they were saying about Joe Biden now
Too
apply
old.
to
Yep.
Donald
Senile.
Trump here.
JD Vance needs to take over, top of the
stop,
ticket.
guys. No, stop, guys. We willed it into existence with Biden. We don't want to accidentally will it into existence with Trump.
That's true.
We do have a lot of power.
Please,
so-
he's not too old. Trump is too young. He should definitely stay in the race. Do not leave.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about JD
Right.
Vance,
Rebecca, wait. I want to hear what Rebecca thinks about Kamala. Because last week when we talked, you were really sad and scared and
Oh, yes.
worried about what exactly was going to happen. And I'm curious, in the past week, if you've caught any kind of
I've caught it all.
movement.
I've been everywhere.
Oh,
I've caught it all.
I've caught it all. I've been everywhere talking about it. I feel like I'm tired. From last week, right? What a turn of events.
Right.
You guys called it on this, and I was like, shoot, I don't see that happening. And it did, and it did. And so I now also had to go from being like a low alto to like a high alto. My tune had to change. Only in the way of, now that we have this option, I can't, like I was saying before, or like I've been saying since since the news came out, I have my feelings about her 100%, and can't nobody tell me nothing. Like, I don't like Hillary Clinton, and I would not vote for her if that was the case, right? But this is not the case. We have Kamala Harris, and I have feelings about her. I've covered her where I've said things about the things that she said, and I still stick by that. My thing is, like, this is not the time. Now that we have that, the nitpicking and the talking about, this is just not the time. Like, November is tomorrow, and they done last minute this ticket, but it's what everybody was asking for. Somebody fresh, somebody new, and it's her. So now it's about getting people who are, because there's a lot of them that I see on. I don't see them in the thread space or the Instagram space. I'm hardly on Twitter, but on that Facebook space, it's a lot of people who are millennial or Generation Z who are holding her still to this, in which they should, right? But we got to get her in the seat, because if you want the opportunity to have a voice or say something or some change in some way, shape, or form, we got to get her ass in the seat. There's no talking about, you know what, let me try to look at the Green Party. I've said this before. No, we don't got time for that. This is our option here. And immediately when the news dropped, Black women, 44,000 Black women got
4,000
together.
originally. They crashed servers.
Over $1 million for her then. And then right after, following, Black men, thousands of Black men gathered together. And then I think it was Latino women that gathered together. People were taking the model that was created, and they just got on the phones and like, this is what we're going to do. This is the plan. This is how it's going to go. And this is why we need to vote for her. I also have seen a lot of people doing great in the research portion of it, because again, the people that I see on Facebook, which is some Generation Z and some millennials, just like, we don't like her because she's a prosecutor. They're sticking to that talking point from years and years ago, from when she was running for president. And so they were like,
apparently your mic is going crazy, but not on my feed. It sounds great on mine.
Sounds fine to me.
Is
it hot?
A little bit. It's hot.
Two of your chats.
Yeah.
All right, going nuts right now.
Okay.
It's fine on
Yeah,
my
it's perfect to me.
Okay, I'll get it away, because it's been I'll get it away from my mouth. But I was saying, like, a lot of the information that people have about her is just rumors from like a smear campaign from when she was running, and they stuck to that. I don't like her because of this, or I don't like her because they said this, and mind you, I like, whatever reason you don't like her, that's your business. If you're not gonna vote for her, don't continue to spread these smear campaigns. And for me, it was also I've been finding out things and learning things and unlearning things, but the things that I do know and things that I covered, there is, like, we need to really band together and get her in. So it's not going to help, because there's such a short amount of time. It's not going to help if I just be like, well, she said, and she's not really, and all of that. But and I was saying, it's super duper low. We can say that, we know what it is, because we can hold her feet to the fire when it comes to Palestine and stuff. We should, like you guys were talking about earlier in the chat. And I'm like, absolutely. Her having, us saying that Kamala Harris has has ever had, and that's just like really low. But to I guess her words today were the most that we've ever really heard about them, in mentioning Gaza or people of Palestine and the deaths that have occurred there, the genocide that's happening. While she didn't use those words, at least her saying that tells me that maybe she may do something different, but because what I believe administration, because she was attached to the Biden administration. So she's not going to come here and do like this whole clean house and be this whole brand new administration. There's going to be a remix. Okay. We can hold her accountable 100%, but right now we just need to get people for her, and what that's going to look like in juxtaposition to Donald Trump being
you guys, apparently nobody can hear us.
Except for my stream.
It's
Everyone
not
poured into my
Rebecca.
stream because Lance is
All of us. The whole stream. All bad. It's all bad. I wonder if we
Why does StreamYard do this like
leave and come back, maybe
6 months?
Yeah.
The echo cancellation, that also helps.
No, this is a
yeah,
tech
it's
issue.
it's StreamYard.
I'm trying to hear the feed here. Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Because I'm usually streaming before we start. So
just a second.
Yeah, and also for moments like this where I can poach your audience.
A second.
That's why.
Just go, all right, folks, stick right here. I'll be back in a second. And then you jump out, you jump into StreamYard. And you're a normal person.
I can't hear you right now. You're too
He's
quiet
done.
because you're not using OBS.
Your mic is low right now. So are we gonna restart this? Or are we gonna stay
What if
here
we
and see
like
what
leave one by one and come back? Like I'll leave and see if that fixes it, and then I'll come
I'll be back.
Didn't that happen last
Use
time?
one sec.
That worked last time.
Okay, then you go and let me see.
Okay, so
As long as the
I
host
gotta leave
stays
too.
in, like, so as long as Bender or me or I'm gonna try to look into the I will bring it in here.
Okay.
No, I will try to. No, I will leave and see if that fixes it.
True. Hi, is it just the two of us?
Just the two
yeah.
of us.
How's this sound, everyone?
Back.
Still real bad. Still
Oh
bad.
man.
So bad.
Wait, I got to
You should maybe you should stop your stream and then restart it. Then
it's choppy.
No, you're low, Matt. You're
to your
low
stream.
now. Wait,
Yeah,
Go to
some
your stream and
stream,
listen, and well, mine's choppy anyways. Let me see.
let me hear it. Let me see.
Oh yeah, it's bad. Why don't we just
Yeah.
restart it? Yeah.
We just got to
Okay.
restart it.
Just start.
We got to
start
end
a
and
new
restart it.
one.
Well, I'll be
Ask my
so give
fucking
me the-
money back.
I know,
This
right?
fucking place.
Call it part 2 in the title so we can differentiate or whatever. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right, cool. Folks, we'll be right back after these messages.
See